Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nilla Zahra. My student number is A1B219015. In this video, I will tell you about the useful expression for discussion. The first is chairperson. Like the purpose of this discussion is let's discuss. If we talk about blah blah blah, it seems necessary to discuss blah 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 and decide which is the most and the least blah blah blah. Let me start with blah blah blah, and then let's begin with blah blah blah. Let's discuss blah 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 first. And then first we need to, who would like to begin? Can you explain your point a little more clearly? And then can we see what other people think about this? And then who has not had a chance to speak yet? Is there any last comment on this point before we move on the next one? So we have two opposing arguments here. On the one hand, blah blah blah. On the other hand, blah blah blah. In other words, most of us think that. Can we draw any conclusion from what we have been saying? And then next is everyone giving your opinion. I think that blah blah blah. In my view or opinion, as far as I can see or I'm concerned, thoroughly blah blah blah. And then the main reason for my opinion is to my mind, in fact, to the best of my knowledge. And then the way I see it, if you ask me, I'm not sure if blah blah blah, and then it is said or believe it or know that it is obvious that, and then it seems or to me that blah blah blah, I have the or a feeling that blah blah blah. I did say blah blah blah. You can take it from me that if you ask me, it seems to me that if you want my opinion, blah blah blah, first of all, or to start with, I'd like to point out there can be no doubt that, and that nobody will deny that everyone knows. Everyone knows. Let's get this clear first. And then the point I'm trying to make is I'm absolutely convinced that. And then the way I look at or see it is this. And the next is giving an explanation. Look, it is like this. The reason for this is, and then just let me explain blah blah blah. And then, well, the thing is blah blah blah. What I mean is, the main problem is, well, the reason is, and then above all we must keep in mind that, and then the next is balancing arguments. On the one hand blah blah blah, and on the other hand blah blah blah. And then some people cite that blah blah blah, others believe that blah blah blah. It is said that blah blah blah, however blah blah blah. And the next is asking questions about someone else's opinion or explanation. Could you tell me what your opinion about? How do you feel about? And then what do you think about or of? Do you think or feel? Might I ask you? Do you mean that? Do you agree? Do you share my point of view? What do you mean when you say? What do you mean by that? And then I don't fully understand. Can you give me example? Could you explain to me? Just tell me the reason why. I just don't see why or what or how. And then I didn't quite get that. Could someone please tell me? And then I don't really understand. Are you saying that? I beg your pardon. And then next is agreeing and disagreeing. Like, I quite agree. I couldn't agree with you more. That's true. All right. Exactly. Precisely. Right. Certainly. Definitely. That's true. All right. Exactly. Precisely. Right. Certainly. Definitely. I think so too. That's just my feeling or opinion. That's a very good or important point. Yes, of course, definitely, absolutely. That's exactly what I mean or say. I agree because I strongly agree with you. I could not agree more. That seems very logical to me. I share your point of view. So do I. So am I. I'm in all favor of what you have been said. I can see your point, but blah blah blah. That's very good point, but yes, perhaps, but yes, but on other hand, blah blah blah. I agree up to a certain point, but maybe I suppose so. I don't thinking it is as simple as that. You may be right there. Yes, possibly also. Yes, up to a point. Yes, in a way. Well, it depends. I see what you mean, but I think that's not the whole story. Yes, but there's also another aspect to consider. I'm afraid I can't agree because blah blah blah. I disagree with you. I'm afraid. And then I don't think you are right. I don't want to argue with you, but I don't agree with you. I'm sorry, but I have to disagree with you. Are you seriously suggesting that? No. I really cannot agree. I'm afraid. I'm not so certain or at all sure if that's true or correct. I'm sorry, I cannot agree. I'm not confident that. Well, I have my job about that. You don't really mean that, do you? I don't think so. Summing up. To sum up, to conclude, to summarize, taking everything into consideration, I can suggest the following order, blah blah blah. Do you agree? I believe that most important is blah blah blah, and the least significant is. We have agreed on the following order. We have decided the number 1 is blah blah blah, number 2 is blah blah blah, and number 3 is blah blah blah. I think that's all for me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.